Do you do this, or do we keep it?
You can do that.
We keep it, or do you want it?
I'll pass it back and forth. What would you like?
Make up your mind!
What would you like me to do?
Pass it back and forth.
Pass it back and forth.
It'll make noise, won't it?
Well, let's just try it and just see how you like it. Try it. Try being famous.
What am I supposed to say? What does somebody who's famous say?
Not that.
I'm not famous.
Obviously.
I want to thank all the little people that helped me get to where I am today.
Oh, that's so great. Today, we are somewhere in the Midwest with a couple of world travelers that I want to interview in front of you, and feel free to jump in here and ask any questions. We have Katie and Ryan, and both of them in the past year or two have been out of the country. And Katie, you went to where?
Egypt.
What was that trip about?
It was just a 2-week trip where we went into Egypt, and we also traveled into the Sinai Peninsula, and we spent the entire time studying 3 different religions, the pharaonic religions with the temples and the pharaohs, and we studied Islam. Actually, we studied 4 then: Islam, Judaism, and Coptic Christianity.
So this was a college class?
Yeah, we got college credit for it, so yeah, it was through the college.
And Ryan went to?
I went to Canada for a month as part of an internship and studied in the Canadian Parliament for a month. Pretty much got free reign to go all over the Parliament and learn about Canada and the way their government works. Yeah, it's a kind of a class. I got college credit for it. When you go to Canada, it's actually illegal if I say that I'm working there because I didn't have a permit to work, and so I had to tell everybody I was studying.
You were an immigrant.
Yeah.
Visiting.
Yeah. I was not allowed to get pay for what the work I did, so I had to say I was studying in Canada, because if I was working, it would be illegal.
You see, the reason I'm interviewing you today partly is that I want to encourage the students to think of traveling anywhere in the world that they think might be interesting. And I also want them to think about learning other languages, not just Spanish, because no doubt everyone doesn't need to speak Spanish. In this country, Spanish will continue to be the #1 second language for a long, long time. But people need to get out of the country, right?
What was the question?
The question is...
I was more concerned with his jiggling leg that I didn't hear the question.
Would you advise people to get out of this country for a visit, travel around, not just to tourist traps, you see? Because a lot of people think, hey, look, let's face it, more of my students every year at very young ages go out of the country. Sort of. They go to tourist traps, and the people there can speak just enough English to help these U.S. visitors get whatever they need to get while they're there. You know, they need water, or they need to know where the beach is, or you know, that kind of stuff. But they don't really have to know much at all to have a great time there for a week or two. Then they come back here, and they feel like they've been out seeing a part of the world, and in a way they have, but mostly they've been going to a tourist place. You didn't go just to tourist places.
Well, I do think it's important to get to go to other countries and not just visit, like actually go and be a part of the country and interact with the people who live there. And the one thing about Canada is they do speak English there, as they also speak French, and Ottawa is a totally bilingual city. Every sign is in both English and French, and even if there's one itsy-bitsy little difference in the word, I mean, they have to put them in both languages. The one thing I wish I did know is how to speak French fluently, because I was so close to Quebec, there was so much I missed out on by not being able to speak French. And I know most of the people there can speak English, but it would have been much more enjoyable had I been able to speak French and interact with everybody, and even interact totally in French if I wanted to. I'm cold. I'm cold, guys. For an hour, Monday through Friday, the political party in power gets asked questions by all the other political parties. And it'd be like the president of the United States going down to Congress and everybody in Congress asking him and his party questions. So it'd be like really weird if we did it here. But you can ask your question or answer it in both French or in either French or English. So they have translators that translate, and you put a little earpiece in. So I had to wear an earpiece, and when it goes into French, if you don't have the translator there, you don't know what's happening. And I was actually in a committee meeting for my member of parliament, and the translator couldn't hear what the people were saying, so they couldn't translate. So I'm sitting here watching this committee meeting, and I have no idea what's going on because they're speaking French, and I had no idea what they were saying. And so you feel like you miss a whole lot.
I know you said you've been studying Japanese too.
Yeah, I'm not studying French. I'm studying Japanese, which I'm trying to learn on my own outside of a classroom since I am done with college, essentially. So, yeah, one day I do hope to go to, or plan to actually go to Japan and speak Japanese fluently to be able to, go there and stay for a while. So.
Are you going to study French?
Yeah, I do actually want to learn more than just 2 languages. So I have a list of 5, I think it is, that I want to learn and be fluent, and that's English, Japanese, French, Spanish, and I haven't decided what the 5th one is. I guess I guess that's only 4. Yeah, there's always room. Well, I've been told Arabic's a really good choice. So, yeah.
Well, we have some people in our family who are studying Arabic, and will probably be quite good at it before too long. We all say Quebec, it seems like, in this country. That's all I've ever heard. How do they say it up in Canada?
They say Quebec.
Katie, when you were in Africa, Egypt, did you ever wish that you could speak any of those languages? And what languages did you hear?
Mostly Arabic, and you'll also hear different dialects of Arabic spoken by the different villages and tribes that live in the desert and then in smaller villages outside of the big cities. And Arabic is a very interesting language. It's very different from English, but it sounds very neat when you're listening to it. And there's so much culture that you miss out on when you don't know the language. And I did not know any Arabic going into it, maybe how to say hello and yes and no, but nothing to carry a conversation. And there are a lot of stories that people could tell you if you understood their language, and you don't get those stories from the native speakers by not knowing their language. So yeah, I wish I had learned at least some Arabic before I went in order to carry on a conversation.
Did you feel safe in Egypt?
I did feel safe in Egypt. Now our group was a little different. Going with a college group, they hired someone from the government to stay with us who was armed just for protection. If something was going on, then he would know to move us to a different area. But as it happened, everything was fine. It was kind of a protection that we had, but we didn't need, we didn't use. But we were in Egypt is kind of in the middle of a lot of countries with a lot of violence right now, and so it may seem scary to go there, but we didn't have any problems. It was a pretty safe trip for us to go on, and we had so many Egyptians tell us, we love Americans, we love America, and so there wasn't this animosity that I had this conception going into. I thought that maybe we were going to encounter a lot of people who hated Americans for some reason. I don't even know where I got that thought, but I had it, and then going there, we had so many people tell us, we love Americans, and so we didn't feel hatred towards us.
Did you think about Egypt as part of Africa before you started studying about that area?
That's funny because I didn't. You study the Middle East history and you study Egypt as part of that, and it very much is part of the Middle East. And so I didn't even think about it being Africa until we were actually there. I mean, you know, like when you see where Egypt is located, yeah, it's on the African continent, but you don't think about it being Egypt. And once I was finally there, standing in the desert, I realized I'm in Africa, which is pretty cool.
When people hear about you saying that you had a bodyguard with your group, well, first of all, Ryan, did you have a bodyguard where you were? And was there ever a time when you thought you needed one? Up in Quebec?
I wasn't in Quebec. I was in Ontario. No, we didn't need a bodyguard in Ontario. I had work Monday through Friday at the Parliament, and I walked 25 minutes because it's about the where we were staying was about 2.5 miles from the building I worked in. So I walked by myself there, and Canada is it's just north of the United States. It's our #1 trading partner. Well, we have the largest unguarded border in the world between two countries.
The longest?
Yeah, longest unguarded border between two countries, which is the United States and Canada. Never needed a bodyguard. It was nice.